107,000 Amarillo on the dash. Yeah, the interior is pretty nice in here. Yeah, this door's junk.
This side's worse.
Let's take a peek under here. Alright, so not horrible. I mean, it's definitely not good. You got the normal hole right here.
How is it under there?
Pretty rusty.
Yeah, the supports are pretty rusty.
I mean, it's not horrible. That can probably be fixed. So this truck does not run. It either has a high pressure oil issue or the Fickum's bad. The guy that bought this not running. So we don't know what's wrong with it. It's gonna have to get pulled on the trailer. We got this thing on here. We made it home, safe and sound. These Amarillo editions are very rare, and the interior is beautiful, and pretty much the interior is worth what I paid for the truck, so I'm not calling this a loss if this has to go the part out route. I literally don't even know if this motor's, like, if it's locked up or not, honestly. So I want to see if the truck will at least crank over and potentially start. These batteries are dead as a doornail. So I'll charge it up, see if it starts. But other than that, I gotta get my scan tool on it probably to see what's going on with this thing. That's not even... Hopefully it's something simple. I can get this thing running, and I want to take it down the road and make sure the engine runs smooth, make sure there's no blow by, make sure the transmission's strong. I just want to make sure everything mechanically is good, and then obviously fix what needs to be fixed on it. The only good door on this truck is this back passenger. All three other doors, there's some serious inner rot. It's just, it'd make more sense to replace it. The bed rails are absolutely junk. The roof has that rust I showed you guys earlier. This area right here, it's not that bad. That can easily be sanded out. And something needs to be addressed about this. Like, this caulking's got to be removed, and you got to get underneath that, because that is pretty bad right there. That might need a little bit of Bondo. And for the hood, very bad clear coat damage, so that's going to need to be brought down to bare metal if you want a good paint job on that. The interior is legit perfect. It needs to be vacuumed, and that is absolutely it. The seats are absolutely gorgeous in this thing. The only thing I noticed actually in the interior is both the front doors here is this is faded. The engine bay is so clean. It's got 100,000 miles on it. You're gonna see dust and stuff like that. That doesn't bother me at all. Bone stock, and it just has not been torn up by some kid that thinks you need to bulletproof a 6.0 Power Stroke, because you don't. That's just nonsense. It's just wasted money in my opinion. The degas bottle is beautiful. There is no remnants of it ever pushing coolant at all, so that's great. I would assume the head gaskets are probably good in this truck. This piece right here, these are always broken. Look at that. It's mint. It did have a new turbo put in it and a new EGR valve. I did notice that, but other than that, I can't see anything else that's been tampered with this motor here. It's just all complete. It's just nice, but I'm hoping that there's nothing wrong with the motor. I haven't really crawled underneath this thing much. I'm sure there's going to be some hidden surprises we have not seen yet. My heart is telling me that this thing's savable and I should save it. The guy that sold me this truck, he was a character. He was a hoot to talk to and stuff. He literally bought this truck with the intentions of scrapping it. He was going to rip parts off it to put onto his other trucks and literally bring this truck to the junkyard. I guess I saved this truck from certain death, basically. So I'm going to do the right thing. If it makes sense to fix this thing up, I'm definitely going to do that. I didn't like the yellow at first, but I kind of do now. It's cool. So let's dig into the diagnostics here and see what we can dig up. Let's figure out what's wrong with this thing. So I'm going to be using my SCT tuner here from my red truck to help me diagnose what's going on. So this bottom left here, that's my Fickham voltage. As of right now, that's great. You don't want it to drop below 45 volts. So that is nice and healthy the way it is. And then you got second one down on the left here, injection control pressure. So when I crank that, this truck will not start up unless that goes over 500 psi. Those are the only two things that I can kind of diagnose with this SC tuner as far as I know. So when I'm cranking, we want to watch this bottom left. We want to make sure that that does not go below 45 volts, and we want to make sure that this injection control pressure sensor will reach over 500 while I'm cranking. All right, so I already figured out what's going on with this. My injection control pressure sensor, it went up to 2. That needs to literally go up past 500. Okay, here we are a few days later. I've been doing a crazy amount of research on this truck, and I also tracked down the original owner. It was a father and son. A father bought this truck brand new, and unfortunately he had passed away and the son took over, and the son drove this truck up until 2 months ago and then sold it off to the guy I bought it from. He basically was driving this as his daily driver to work and back and forth basically. And he was having some long cranks. Like it would take a while for the truck to fire up, and that would usually mean that the high pressure oil side of things is not getting up to the 500 psi it needs to even start this motor. So seeing that my ICP sensor wouldn't build pressure, I am assuming that I have a bad IPR valve, or there's something going on in the underneath the valve covers, because these trucks need oil pressure to fire the injectors, and obviously if your injectors aren't firing, the truck's not running. So I'm going to pull my IPR valve out and inspect it. All right, so I have my intake off, the coolant ball is pushed out of the way, and I got the Fickham out. I pulled off my intake and I had a little bit of a surprise here. This is the charge pipe. So this thing is not going to have any power. We got to add that to the list. But anyway, we're working on getting that heat shield out of the way so we can gain access to the IPR down there. Alright, so here's my IPR valve. Upon first inspection, it looks alright. People say that these screens get holes punched in them, but the screen does look fine in this. That green O-ring up top does look fairly worn out. That could have been letting oil by. Unfortunately, I bit the bullet and I went and bought a new OEM IPR valve. I'm really hoping that's the issue, because these things are not cheap at all, and I wanted to do a factory forward one because when you're doing stuff like this, you literally need to use OEM parts. You cannot cheap out and try to use some aftermarket stuff. It's going to break down the road. Fit this in the truck and see what happens anyway. New valve is in, tighten down. Gotta get the connection back on and put it back together. Like I showed you guys, this intercooler tube is legit blown apart. They put these plastic rubber ones in from the 05 Plus. I just went to my local junkyard and grabbed this out of an 04. It is the same pipe, but you gotta grab these boots too, and it should slide right on. Yeah, you're not gonna have any boost or power when your charge pipe looks like that. This thing is like actually completely destroyed. It was way worse than I even thought it was. Alright, we didn't have the correct clamp for this, but we have it sealed off. I'm confident enough for that. That'll be fine to at least try to start the truck. And we got it hooked up back there. So, I mean, obviously this is better than what it was, but we are going to readdress that at some point. Let's just keep throwing this thing back together, though. Everything is fully back together and operational. Like I said, I took a complete gamble on this. I do not know if this IPR is going to fix my issue, but I think this truck's ready to start. We've been kind of charging this for the last few hours. Let's see what happens. I really need to get a scanner on this truck and see what's going on. I don't have those tools. I'm just trying to do the things the best of my knowledge here and doing the best I can to get this truck figured out and started. But I'm gonna sleep on this tonight and see if I can dig up any more research. When you know you have a high pressure oil leak in these trucks, you should always do an air pressure test. So I am going to pop out that ICP sensor right there and hook an air line up to that, and when you do that, you're going to pressurize the high pressure oil system, and you need to take the oil fill cap off and pull the intake breather off that valve cover, and you want to listen for leaks. Okay, got the airline hooked up there. I have my oil fill cap off to listen on the passenger side, and I'm going to be listening on the intake side there with the valve cover breather. Oh yeah, we have a leak on the passenger side for sure. I can hear something. If you can hear that, there's definitely some like gurgling going on down there. I do hear a little bit going on down on this side too. I think I have enough evidence to at least pull one valve cover off for now and repressurize the system. This valve cover gasket is junk. There we go, nice. Okay, we got our airline hooked up. So I think the gurgling I was hearing from the pressurized air was going back in the intake into the lower end because that IPR valve's open. We had 120 PSI going through these rails, and I looked it over pretty decently and I couldn't see any sort of bubbling. I want to crank the truck over like this to see if I even get oil to come out of this here, or see if I can find a leak. I put the valve cover on back loosely, and I want to see if the high pressure pump will pump out any sort of fluid out of this ICP sensor port. Hold up, hold up! So we got some oil coming out. I am no 6.0 specialist. I am literally learning as I go right now. We cranked it over, we got a little bit of oil. I think that little bit of oil is from the low pressure pump in this truck that's pumping it through the high pressure pump and then into the valve covers, and that's the oil I saw coming out of that. So I am really leaning towards the high pressure oil pump is the issue on this truck, and that's why it's not starting. Don't know for certain, but you know what? I have this thing ripped apart. I'd rather learn. get this drain tube out of here. And I just unbolted the turbo pedestal, so this should lift right up and out. Should. Yep. Nice. This is what we're after right here. This is the H-pop. That's the IPR valve that I replaced. There's a cover around here that you got to take off, and then you unbolt the high pressure oil pump and it'll come right off. IPR is going to come back off though. Alright, I got all my bolts out of here. Let's see if we can get this thing popped up out of here. Ah, come on. Yes. Oh yeah, we got it. Nice. Nice, there we go. Alright, she's broken free. Okay, I got my cover off without breaking these back tabs. It's very common, but I was able to get this thing off without pulling the intake and without pulling the EGR cooler. I did have to take the clamp off the EGR cooler that goes into the up pipe, and my cover's off. No damage at all. Love to see it. And we are finally at the H-pop here. First inspection, it all looks fine to me, obviously, but there's probably something going on internally with this pump. I did find an issue with this, the STC fitting. I pulled this out, and the O-ring itself actually, it's completely flattened and ripped. There's not much left of it here, so I'm assuming I was definitely having a leak here. Do I want to take a gamble and just replace the STC fitting? Not really. So I think I'm gonna go grab a new pump. It's gonna come with the new STC fitting anyway. It'd just be good to get a new factory OEM pump in it, and you don't have to worry about it. So I didn't see anything else jumping out at me that was wrong with it. No cracks or anything, but that's the O-ring right there. It's absolutely junk. Okay, I'm back from my dealership, and a brand new factory OEM Ford high pressure oil pump with a brand new STC updated fitting. So let's get these O-rings in and slap the new pump in and get her torqued down to spec. I have my new O-ring sitting in here, so I'm gonna drop the pump in. Feels like the gear is meshed in with the camshaft. Get in the back. Oh, there we go. Okay, we are good. Nice. That was a bear, but we are fully torqued down, all bolted in, all sealed back up, and the EGR coolers all bolted back on as well. And now we have a brand new OEM high pressure oil pump. But let's just keep going along here. Just like it was from the factory, all the heat protection is back on. Love to see that. Nothing's broken, nothing's hacked. Nice. Okay, she's sitting nice. Thickums bolted back down, the intake's back on, air cleaner's on, the degas ball's back on, we got the batteries hooked up. Everything is all set up in this area. We just got to pull the valve cover back off, and I bought a new valve cover gasket, OEM Ford. Only way to go. So we're gonna throw a new gasket on there, get that resealed up. put the glow plug module back on and put this charge pipe back on, and we should be good to try to start this truck here. I broke this gasket right here. I kinked it. All right, we're fully back together. We're ready for a test start. Hopefully she lights off. See what happens. It just took a while for that low pressure to build. I'm sure it lost its prime when I took that high pressure oil pump off. She's running though. All right, she's been running for about 10 to 15 minutes. Smoke cleared up. Let's check for blow by. Zero blow by, no smoke, nothing. Coolant bottle looks great. No pressure or anything, like to see that. No lights on in the dash. Got good oil pressure. Climbing up on the temp gauge. This thing runs really good. Now the test is, let's see if the transmission works. The turbo's building boost, but we are smoking quite a bit of blue haze right now, and I don't think the injectors are firing properly. When I romp on it, you get a lot of black smoke and then some blue and some white. The ABS light just came on. The brakes need attention. The brake pedal feels horrible. She still needs a ton of work. I mean, it's running all right, I guess. All right, I'm gonna romp on it. Watch the exhaust to see if we're blowing any smoke out here. Yeah, see, it still wants to blow some smoke out. It's blowing black. Truck's not getting the air. It takes a little bit for the turbo to light off. I saw this truck posted on Facebook Marketplace. Within literally 30 minutes of this thing being posted, they had so many people blowing them up, and I actually offered more money for this truck than he had it listed because I wanted it. I thought it was really cool. To my knowledge, these trucks were only sold out in the western southern states like Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, California, Wyoming. It is a very cool truck, but I would like to try to do something with this truck. So I bought this truck not running, not knowing anything about the motor. We have a new high pressure oil pump in this thing and a new IPR valve, and it fires up no problem at all. But as you saw, we were having a little bit of issues with power here. It seems like we're lacking power and it's smoking black pretty bad. So I seem to think that's a low air indication, or like the turbo's not spooling. Something is going on with that. We will diagnose that in a later video, but I want to give you guys a good walk around on this. As you can see, the bed is completely rotted out. I mean, there's holes in the floor here. You can see a hole here, and I think there is, yeah, there's one starting right here as well, and right here. I mean, it's rough. This truck's definitely rough. I mean, I got it really cheap. It needs a lot of work. But what I do like about this truck is, besides being dirty, the interior is like immaculate. These seats are so soft. They're wicked nice. Interior is beautiful. So you got the Amarillo stitched in the back of the seats here. That's really cool on both seats. Amarillo special edition right there in the center console, and then this is wrapped in leather as well. You got Amarillo in the dash. This color, like, this is not a normal color dash, and like these panels, I think the Amarillos in the Outlaw Edition Fords were the only ones that had this color, and that's all black in here. Unfortunately, there's a lot of rust. Like, this door is junk. There's nothing left in this inner piece here. 3 out of the 4 doors like that. This back one, same situation, just eliminated. It's bad. But the back seat is beautiful. It's just really dirty in here. Some Fruit Loops over there. I could be completely wrong, but I doubt this truck has like even worked hard in its life. So this truck has 107,000 on it, and there is next to no, I mean, besides the rust, obviously, there is like no scratches in this bed, and it's never had a bed liner in it before. This is the good door. I think this door is savable. Yeah, so this door is nice. The cab corners are surprisingly in really good shape. I don't see any bubbling going on there. It seems very solid to me. The rocker panels are a different story. I'll crawl underneath the truck in a minute. Passenger side here, like, just beautiful Amarillo in the back there. I really like the interior. It doesn't smell in here either. There's no stains in the carpets. My understanding too, this is an Amarillo package only. These floor mats in this color here. This door is literally just eliminated as well. Front fenders do have a little bit of rust. If you can see, it's right here. The truck does look good. I mean, it needs to be cleaned up. I think it has new brakes put on it. The front bumper seems pretty good for the most part. The emblem needs to be replaced. So one thing I also really like about this truck, everything's so clean under here. That's what really sold me on this truck too. Let's crawl underneath this thing and take a really good gander. So here we are in the inner rocker panels. This is a common rust area on these trucks, but what I don't like is this cab support, cab mount, I guess you could call it, does look pretty bad. See, look at that. I just eliminated some of it right there. Truck does have new brakes on it, which is nice. I think we're leaking from the rear main seal, but the oil pan does seem pretty good for the most part. Trans pan seems good. These supports here, they look pretty bad. I mean, there's already a hole here, and once you start hitting, it's gonna get worse. This whole coil spring tower, bucket, whatever you want to call it, this has to be replaced. The whole coil spring is literally coming out, as you can see. The frame itself on the truck is actually very nice. Just some heavy surface rust, nothing concerning. The cross members on the bed are just absolutely gone. There's nothing left of them. The wheel wells, I mean, there's a fender flare on here, so I'm sure there's rust behind this, I guarantee it. To do this truck right, you should replace the bed. The rear hitch has some bad rust on either side right there as well. Rear bumper starting to rot through right here with all this rust spots. That's the rust starting from the inside, working its way out. The tailgate is being held on with a ratchet strap here. Guarantee that's rusted. Coming under the driver's side rockers, this back rocker panel is very bad. If I hit that with a hammer, that'll be holes 110%. Frame rail on this side is very nice. This needs to be replaced. These cab supports are junk. And this was the most concerning thing to me, is this cab mount up here. That should realistically get replaced. That's definitely pretty bad. all 4 tires they're either low on tread or chopped and they need to be replaced. And if we crawl under here, for anyone that doesn't know this bar right here is factory on all these trucks. If this has been removed, it's definitely had a plow on it before. But seeing that this thing's on here, guaranteed it's never had a plow on it, which I was really happy about that. Transmission lines, there's a little bit of surface rust on this one here, nothing that concerning. They look really nice over there. Up front here, it doesn't look bad at all, actually. I guess the front diff cover could use a little bit of love, but I don't know. This truck has 107,000 on. That's absolutely nothing for one of these trucks. So it's got low miles, it's a real Amarillo package, and these trucks, you mostly see these Amarillo packages in an F-250 long bed. This is an F-350 with a short bed. It's a very cool truck. Obviously, we've made some progress. This truck runs and drives now. It really does stink that this truck does have a lot of rust. So it does need quite a bit of work, but I'm curious. Comment down below and let me know what you would do if you own this truck, I guess. What would you like to see me do? My other thought was I could make this my like kind of haul truck almost, and put a gooseneck hitch in it and kind of tow some more projects home with it too. Maybe I could keep this thing. But don't worry, there's gonna be more coming on this yellow banana school bus, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully you enjoyed this truck and me getting it running again. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. It really put a smile on my face and help out my channel grow, so I can keep bringing these things home and making more content. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.